Hey there folks, I'm sorry I lost you there for a sec. We were kind of running out of time and had a little bit of technical difficulty. But anyways, where I was, when Kluge came to us, when Doug came to us and said, hey, we're putting a new auger out on the market, pretty much this is the first drill that he had on here. You know, still all metal drill, but you know, what he did was, with the flighting here, he drilled holes in the sides throughout it, you know, so that way it's a little less metal and carries up a little less ice. But, you know, he did that so it'd be a little more lightweight. Not as heavy as the old one, but still, it's got some weight to it. We're just going to talk about some specifications with the new auger that he's got. Hold on one second here. What he's got on the market now, well, not on the market, but what he has available to people if they want to buy one is two models of augers. He's got the LT25 and the Boss 53. The Boss 53 is what me and my father own, but the LT25, you know, that's the smaller model. That's for, you know, not drilling as much, but you know, still a very good auger. But it's the smaller of the two augers. You know, I'm going to give you some specifications on the LT25. It is a 25cc engine, operates at 8,000 RPMs, and it's a two-cycle. All kluge augers are two cycles. Weighs about 15 pounds. It cuts a 7.5-inch hole or an 8.5-inch hole, and it is a 1.25 horsepower motor. The Boss 53, like I said, is bigger. It operates at 53 cc's, 10,000 RPMs, 3 horsepower motor, cuts a 7.5-inch hole, 8.5-inch hole, 10-inch hole, and a 12-inch, you know, rescue and commercial hole. The rescue and commercial hole, like I say, he only gives it to the rescue and the fire team guys. And sometimes he'll give it to, you know, he'll give it to some of his buddies who fish trout up in Canada, you know, fish lake trout. Pretty much, I don't know if I said it already. Oh yeah, and the Boss 53 weighs 21 pounds. I don't know if I said it already, but pretty much the only people who have the augers are a few guides up in Canada, friends of the family, stuff like that, you know, because like I said, he didn't go corporate with it, lawyers, blah blah blah, stuff like that. Anyways, these are phenomenal augers. I'm just going to give you some pricing of the, actually first I'm going to show you the Boss 53, that's the model that I have. Show you some specifications on it. What it is here, you know, let's see if I can get the night shot off. You know, like, you know, you see the way it's sitting here, it's sitting on bicycle handles like this, you know, and that's the way it's meant to sit, you know. He designed it that way to sit like that. But anyways, very user-friendly auger, pretty much, you know, trigger grip handle. It's got a, you know, little safety lock switch, so you can't pull the trigger unless you have the safety down. So, you know, start-stop switch over here. Really user-friendly auger. The Boss 53 weighs 21 pounds, and the LT25 I think weighs around 15. And another thing is the new drill that he has on here. You know, there's the metal one. We hang on to that just in case something goes wrong with the new drill or anything like that. But the new drill, I don't know if you can see, but it's plastic. You know, a lot of people, when they see plastic, though, they think, oh, Fisher Price, crappy auger. No, it's not like that. You know, it's actually a great auger. This whole drill here weighs, if I had to guess, I'd say around maybe 4 or 5 pounds. Really lightweight. And what he did with the flighting here, instead of having it, you know, completely rounded like the old auger, he just did it in pieces like this. You know, you got one piece here, one piece here, one piece here, one piece here, you know, stuff like that. But, you know, and, you know, not only is it great and it's lightweight, but another good thing about it is, let's say you're out on Mille Lacs and something, and it's cold, it's windy, you're popping holes, you're popping lots of holes, you're moving from place to place trying to find the perch, trying to find the walleyes. One thing that, you know, happens all the time is, you know, you mix a little water with that wind and cold air, and you get those ice chunks, and the ice chips start to freeze up on the auger. And nobody wants that, because, you know, that makes a heavier auger. But pretty much, plastic fins. You know, if one of them break, it's never happened to us, but if one of them break, I don't know if you can see here, but it comes in little sections here, so if it breaks you can put on a new section, stuff like that. And what he did was with this one, you know, this is an 8.5 inch hole, and what he did was, I'm going to see if I can get off the cover and show it to you, but it might be kind of hard here. It's all plastic up until you get to here. This is all metal. All the blades are completely metal. You know, blades aren't plastic. It's just the flighting that's plastic. And I don't know if you can tell here, you know, you probably can't, but the flighting is about, you know, this front piece here, that's 8.5 inches long. Now this piece here, all these pieces all the way up, they're around, you know, it's not even 8.5 inches. It's probably around, you know, I don't know, but it's smaller than 8.5 inches. A lot of people say, well, don't you need the flighting to balance the auger? Don't you need the flighting to stabilize it when you're drilling holes? And the answer is no. You just got to have a steady hand, you know. And a lot of people say, well, how does that affect the cutting? And it's like, well, it doesn't, because remember, the blades are what do the cutting, not the flighting. So that's one thing. Let's see, I got about 4 minutes left, so I'm just gonna show you one other great thing I love about this auger. You know, let's say you're coming home from school one day and you want to, you know, I live in Shoreview, Minnesota, so I would just say I want to go down to Bald Eagle, and I got a carpool with my friend, and I'll say, okay, well, we'll bring my auger because my auger cuts the best, and you know, it's in a car, so it's like you're kind of strapped for room. So one thing you got with the older augers like Strike Master, Jiffy, stuff like that, you've got this little nut, you got this little bolt in here that you can and the only way to take the drill off of the auger, you got to have Allen to unscrew that, and it's like, that takes time, that takes tools. Who wants that? This is a toolless removable drill. Okay, you just go down here, and this is just like his old one, by the way. Just go down here, unscrew this little, and just unscrew this, and the drill pops right off. Simple as that. This drill is very lightweight. I'm not gonna kid around with you. This thing is lightweight, and it cuts fast. It cuts really, really fast. I'm gonna sit down and tell you a few more things about the augers and stuff like that here. Got about 2 minutes left or so. Okay, so let's see. Now I'm just gonna quick go over some pricing here. For the LT25, a 7.5. You know, the augers are great, but they're pricey. But for the price, you know, this auger is going to last you a lifetime. You know, my father got this auger, the newer model, back in '04, and it's going to outlive him. It's probably going to outlive me. I'm going to hand it down to my kid, you know, once I get old and once I need him to cut holes and do my drilling for me, you know, once I make him do that. But pricing for the LT25, smaller model, 7.5 inch hole, $950. 8.5 inch hole, it's unlisted. You know, you can go out on the website, it's unlisted. I'm sure it's around 1,000, 1 grand, 1K. But the Boss 53, 7.5 inch hole, $1,045. 8.5 inch hole, you know, $1,125. 10 inch hole, $1,145. 12 inch rescue and commercial hole, $1,295. It's not like you don't even need a 10 inch hole. You know, unless you're going trout fishing up in Canada, you can get away with a 10 inch hole, but you don't need a 10 inch hole, okay? I've seen a 21 pound northern come through the ice on a tip up on an 8.5 inch hole. You don't need a 10 inch hole, you know? The only thing that 10 inch hole is good for is drowning babies in the water, you know? Pretty much, I've got about 1 minute left or so. I'm just gonna shut her off now, and then I'll be back in a second.